Yo, what is up everyone, it's Nina the Chosen here, and today bringing you guys another Ninjala related video. And today we are going to be doing our first weapon analysis series on both the Ippon Katana and the Scroll Blade. Now, there are two katana-like weapons we know so far. We have the Ippon Katana and we have the Scroll Blade. We also have other katana-like weapons, which are the drill, but that will be showcased in another weapon analysis since they are extremely different. But here in this video, we'll just be talking about both the Ippon Katana and the Scroll Blade. Now, the Ippon Katana has the Gum Launcher, which is your Gum Shoot, and for the Gum Ninjutsu, we have Ninja Tornado. And for the Scroll Blade, the Gum Shoot is Gum Kunais, where basically you spit out a bunch of kunais at your opponents, and the Gum Ninjutsu is the Piercing Mixer. Now, the katana is a very good rushdown based weapon with good mobility. It also releases attacks fast, which means that it is very easy to combo heavily based with this weapon, and obviously is a very short range weapon. Now, the katana is a very good beginner's weapon if you're wanting to get good at the katana class, as it does a very good amount of damage. And it's also a very easily combo based weapon. So this weapon is definitely suited for beginners, as other categories have a slightly higher learning curve. Now we are going to start off with movesets and then combo mix-ups. Now, an important thing we should all know is that every weapon in game has 3 directional attacks. Normal attack, which is stand or up ZL, back attack, which is left or right ZL, and wide attack, which is down ZL. Now, the normal attack for both Scroll Blade and Ippon Katana is a 4-hit jab. You can of course do jab mix-ups and cancel the ending lag with a dash or a jump. You can also cancel the end lag with a dash if you give your opponent knockback. Speaking of knockback, we have the wide attack, which is a spinning move that gives your opponent knockback. This move is good for finishing off your opponent with a Ippon or regular KO. This is also good for giving your opponent knockback to prevent them from attacking you. Now, this can sort of be used as a combo starter as well. It depends if your opponent doesn't have an S-burst. But the key to comboing with wide attack is a bit different because you're going to have to use attack canceling, also known as jump canceling, since you give your opponent knockback. And also, when it comes to drones, this attack is also very good for destroying drones quickly. So if you want to get all those points, you gotta spam the wide attack. You can also do combo mix-ups too, like 4-hit normal attack into wide attack. Now we have the back attack, which allows you to teleport to your opponent and attack them. Now, this attack is actually very useful for a couple of things. You can use this attack to dodge incoming gum shots. And while you're trying to destroy a drone, if you see someone coming near you, you can teleport behind it and still destroy the drone. You can teleport behind your opponent and to the side of your opponent. So this attack is actually very useful for if you see your attack coming at you with an attack, and you can teleport behind them with the back attack. Now, I don't recommend using this a lot, because your opponent can easily dash out of this attack, aka dodge the attack. Or a very good player, for example the SK8 drive, also known as the SK8 hammer, can read your next movement option. For example, if you teleport behind the SK8 hammer, they can easily track you down by turning around and gum shooting you with gum web. But this is only possible if your opponent has 7 units of S energy. So always use the back attack when appropriate. It's very good for, getting out of sticky situations as well. And yeah, that is about it for the directional attacks. Now let's go ahead and talk about some other attacks along with some abilities for these specific weapons. Now for the Ippon Katana's gum shoot, we have Gum Launcher, to where you shoot out a gum-like projectile at your opponent. If you shoot it twice at your opponent, you're able to stick them, and they will be vulnerable for you to get an Ippon. Now, this gum shoot is also very useful for shooting at your opponent, and once you shot it at your opponent, usually the opponent will react with an S-burst. That way you can have a 100% chance to break attack them with the ARB trigger, and that will leave them vulnerable to Ippon. This gumshoe also has very decent homing, so it'll be very easy to stick your opponent. Next, for the Ippon Katana's gum ninjutsu, we have the Ninja Tornado, to where you move and release a huge tornado at your opponent. Of course, you can move around with this tornado, giving them huge damage and knockback. Now, this gum ninjutsu is of course suited for ipponing your opponents, but your opponent has to be at lower HP in order to get a straight ippon. So what I do recommend when releasing your Ninja Tornado is comboing your opponent and then release the Ninja Tornado, which will give you a straight ippon. When releasing this gum ninjutsu, you will have invincibility frames, which means you will not get hit at the startup animation. So then again, this gum ninjutsu is heavily suited for ending your opponents. And it's also very good for giving multiple opponents at once knockback. That way you can prevent them from getting drones. Next up, for the Scroll Blade Gumshoot, we have Gum Kunais, where you shoot multiple kunais at your opponents. Now, the Gum Kunais have very good homing, and once you shoot it, it'll locate your opponent and shoot straight to them, which means that this is easily good for sticking your opponents. Now, this is a multiple hit gum shot, so shooting it once won't stick them right away, but once you shoot it twice, you'll be able to stick your opponent. Now, this gum shot is also good for shooting at gum guards at your opponents. For example, if your opponent has their gum guard up, you can shoot your kunais at the gum guard, which will cause the opponent to be in shield stun, also known as guard stun. And while they are in that guard stun, you can run up to them and gum break them, leaving them vulnerable. You can also shoot this in the air, which it'll stay in midair for a second, then shoot straight to your opponent. I think this is really, in my opinion, my favorite type of gum shoot. Because not only does this gum shot give your opponent gum guard stun, but it also does hit stun. So this can very well be used as a decent combo starter. Next up, for the Scroll Blade, we have one of my favorite gum ninjutsus, the Piercing Mixer. Once you release this gum ninjutsu, you shoot a turtle destruction wave of gum at your opponents, basically shooting out a straight line of gum. Now, this gum ninjutsu is decent at battle royale, but in team battle, this is actually very good for destroying a line of opponents and even destroying multiple drones at once. Heck, it can even rack points. Now, one thing, I do not recommend using this nearby opponents, or else you will get your Piercing Mixer cancelled. Even at the beginner frames, it does not have invincibility, so I recommend use this far away from your opponents. Like for example, in Eagle City, if you stand on that one building in the drone area, you can release your Piercing Mixer at a straight line, shoot at multiple drones at once, and shoot multiple opponents at once. Same goes for WN8 Academy. What I do is run up on the fit and get on a corner and release my Piercing Mixer and release it where drones are visible and at my opponents, so they'll be erased from the game. That way they can be prevented from getting drones. And yes, you can release your Piercing Mixer and shoot it through walls. So this is going to be very well unexpected by your opponents, so use it wisely, as it does take some time to ippon your opponent. Now that we've covered the gum ninjutsu and the gum shoots for both Ippon Katana and Scroll Blade, we are now going to talk about the special and abilities. Now for the Ippon Katana and Scroll Blade special, we have the Charging Slash, where you are able to boost. When you're boosting, you have super armor, so you can block incoming attacks and also block gum shots. When boosting to your opponent, you can continue with a combo. This Charging Slash is also useful for getting to drones or opponents faster. Just a heads up, this has cooldown, so use it wisely. Next up for the abilities, we have Chakra, to where if you defeat your opponent, your special cooldown will be reset. So basically what this means is that once you comboed your opponent and ended your opponent with your special, your cooldown will be reset, meaning that there is no more cooldown and you can use it again. So this is only usable when you Ippon your opponent with a special. And lastly, for the last special, we have Kamikaze, to where if you release a bigger weapon, you can move faster when you defeat a foe with a special. This is pretty much the same thing as Chakra, but with a bigger weapon. So again, if you defeat your opponent with your special, you're able to move faster. Now here's the hand-to-hand comparison to the running speed of the Scroll Blade in Ippon Katana, and yeah, you guys can see that you're able to run faster when you have a bigger weapon after releasing a special to defeat your opponent. But yes guys, I believe that is it for this video. I hope you guys learned something new. Also, please let me know what you guys think of the motion blur in the background. Is it good? Is it distraction? Please let me know in the comment section below. More of the weapon analysis series will be coming up, so definitely stay tuned for that. In my opinion, I really think this weapon is very good for beginners, obviously, and it is probably one of the first weapons you'd use in Ninjala. So definitely give these two weapons a try if you're wanting to be good with a rushdown type weapon, and see what suits you. There are more katana-like weapons to come in the future, so these are basically all of the katana-like weapons we know so far. But anyways guys, if you guys are interested in the Ninjala community, be sure to look forward to Ninjala Amino, which is a mobile community for both iPhone and Android, which will be in the link description below. If you guys are interested in the competitive Ninjala community, be sure to check out Competitive Ninjala, which is a Discord server community. That will be in the link description below as well. And with that being said everyone, if you guys like this video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bar, and share with others. That will be a very helpful option, and peace out. See you guys in the next vid. Take care of yourselves.